Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today, we rejourneying back in time to explore a concept that is fundamental to understanding the United States, the American frontier. How did a vast, untamed wilderness transform a group of colonies into a nation with a unique and powerful identity? Let's find out. America's story is all about the frontier, where adventure and dreams collide. It wasn't just a line on a map. It was a process, a state of mind, a constant westward movement into the unknown. This experience, stretching over nearly 3 centuries, became the crucible in which the American character was forged. Think about it. To survive out there, you couldn't rely on old European customs or established social structures. You had to adapt, innovate, and most importantly, rely on yourself. This necessity bred a fierce spirit of individualism and self-sufficiency. On the frontier, your success depended on your own grit, your ability to clear land, build a home, and protect your family. This wasn't about inherited titles or social class. It was about what you could do with your own 2 hands. This hands-on, can-do attitude became a cornerstone of the American psyche, a belief that anyone, through hard work, could make their own way in the world. The historian Frederick Jackson Turner, in his famous Frontier Thesis of 1893, argued that this very process was what made America fundamentally different from Europe. He saw the frontier as a social leveler and a gate of escape from the constraints of the Old World. As settlers moved west, they shed their European skins and were reborn as Americans. The wilderness stripped them down to their essentials, forcing them to create new institutions, new laws, and new ways of life that were suited to their environment, not to the courts of kings. This environment was a harsh but effective teacher. It demanded practicality over theory. You learned to fix a broken wagon wheel, hunt for your food, and cooperate with neighbors for mutual defense, regardless of their background. This created a culture of pragmatism and ingenuity that still defines American innovation today. The focus was always on what works, on finding a solution, no matter how unconventional. But the frontier wasn't just a place for solitary individuals. It was also, paradoxically, a massive melting pot. People from all over Europe, English, Germans, Scots-Irish, Swedes, and eventually, people from all over the world were thrown together in these new communities. They had to learn to live and work with each other, their different languages, customs, and religions blending together. On the frontier, being a good neighbor was more important than where you came from. Turner described this as the creation of a composite nationality. Old hatreds and prejudices often softened in the face of shared challenges. This process of assimilation and amalgamation of different cultures contributing to a new, shared identity was uniquely American. It wasn't about erasing differences entirely, but about forging a common purpose and a new national character from a diverse mix of peoples. This laid the groundwork for the multicultural society that America is today. Of course, this story is not without its deep complexities and tragic consequences. The free land of the frontier was, in fact, the ancestral home of Native American nations. The relentless westward expansion led to violent conflict, forced removals, and the devastation of indigenous cultures. This is a crucial and somber part of the frontier narrative that cannot be overlooked. The American identity that emerged from the West was built on both triumph and tragedy, on the creation of new opportunities for some and the destruction of worlds for others. Furthermore, as the frontier experience became history, it was heavily romanticized. The image of the rugged cowboy, the lone pioneer, and the heroic lawman became powerful symbols in American culture. Dime novels, Wild West shows, and later, Hollywood movies, crafted a mythic version of the West. This romantic narrative, while often glossing over the hardships and the injustices, was incredibly influential. It reinforced ideas of American exceptionalism, freedom, and manifest destiny, the belief that the nation was destined to stretch from coast to coast. This mythologized version of the frontier helped to unify a diverse and growing nation. It provided a shared set of stories and heroes, a national epic that every school child could learn. The cowboy, in particular, became the quintessential American hero. Independent, tough, fair-minded, and close to nature, he embodied the ideal of freedom from the constraints of civilized society, an ideal that still resonates deeply. By the end of the 19th century, the U.S. Census Bureau declared that a continuous frontier line no longer existed. The wilderness had been carved up, settled, and incorporated into the nation. This marked a profound turning point. With the closing of the frontier, a new force began to shape American life: urbanization. As cities grew and industries boomed, millions of Americans, including new waves of immigrants, experienced a very different reality. Life was now defined by the factory clock, not the changing seasons; by crowded tenements, not wide-open spaces. The challenges were different: labor disputes, urban poverty, and navigating complex social hierarchies. A new American identity began to form, one shaped by the urban, industrial landscape. Yet, even in this new era, the legacy of the frontier endured. The values it had fostered, individualism, optimism, a belief in second chances, and a certain restlessness, did not simply vanish. They were adapted to new circumstances. The frontier of opportunity shifted from land to industry, technology, and innovation. The same drive that pushed settlers across the plains now fueled entrepreneurs building new businesses and inventors creating new technologies. The debate continues today. How much of the American character is still defined by its frontier past? Some argue that its influence has waned, replaced by the realities of a globalized, digital world. Others maintain that the core DNA of the nation, that restless, optimistic, and self-reliant spirit, is a direct inheritance from those who ventured into the wilderness. When you look at the American fascination with space exploration, the final frontier, or the entrepreneurial culture of Silicon Valley, you can see the echoes of that old Westward impulse. It's a belief that there is always something new to discover, a new challenge to overcome, a new world to build. The physical frontier may be gone, but the frontier spirit, for better and for worse, remains deeply embedded in the American identity. It's a complex legacy of freedom and conflict, of reinvention and romanticism that continues to shape the nation and its people. What do you think? Is the frontier spirit still alive in America today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into American history, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you next time.